Adding a little bit of background blur to your images can help your subject to stand out. Now, a lot of people don't understand why that background blur is important, but it helps our subject stand out from the background from the scene. So it totally makes sense. And whether you need to create more background blur because you needed to get more distance from your subject, or because maybe you didn't have that f2.8 or f1.4 lens, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to show you how to do it in today's video. So whether you want to create bokeh, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. Now let's jump right on into Photoshop here. We're going to be using Photoshop for this. Now there is a way to do it in Lightroom, but it simply doesn't work that well. The subject selection does not work very well in Lightroom. So I'm going to show you the very best way to do it, and that is here in Photoshop. So I've got this image open right now, and the first thing you want to do is just duplicate the background layer. So even if you don't know how to use Photoshop, don't worry, don't tune out, because this video is going to be simple enough. I'm going to show you step by step exactly what you need to do. So to duplicate this background layer, I usually just go down here, create a new layer, and then do Command Alt Option Shift E. That merges all visible. Control Alt Option Shift E on PC. Now you have a layer right here. So on this particular image, I want to blur this because this bison in the back is out of focus, but it's not that out of focus. I either probably want this to be more in focus or more out of focus, and I can't get it more in focus. So more out of focus makes more sense. And then we can focus on the baby, and then focus, the scene kind of turns into now this baby and then its mom in the background. But you don't really need details here in the mom in order to tell the story, in my opinion. So the first thing that I want to do is just go in and create a subject selection. So I'm going to go to select subject. Now, before you do this, you want to make sure you have that one setting, that brand new setting changed, which I will show you in this video here. If you didn't see it, I posted that like last week or the week before. You do want to have that setting changed because it's going to help you to make a better subject selection. So you'll select subject just like that. It's going to take just a second to do the cloud rendering here. And then once it's done, you'll see it's selected the bison in the back and the bison in the front. Now, I just want the bison in the front selected here. I don't need the bison in the back selected at all. So there's, you can go up here, a couple different ways to do this. I usually just go to the quick selection tool and hit the minus, make my brush a little bit bigger here. And then you can see the marching ants are fading away here. So now we just have our baby bison here, which is selected. So this is perfect. Now let's go in and create a layer mask just like that. And now we want the layer mask to do the opposite of what it's doing right now. This layer mask confines or restricts this layer so that only what is white in the layer mask is showing through. So right now, only the baby bison is showing through. We actually want to invert this so that now you can see everything else is showing and the baby bison is not, because what we're going to do is just blur this whole image except for the subject, and then we're going to make some refinement here. So now that I have that done, we are going to go up to filter and we're going to go down to blur. Now there's a couple different ways you can do this. A lot of people use lens blur. I just use the Gaussian blur because the lens blur, it takes a long time. It's hard to see what it's rendered, and I don't find that it looks any more realistic to create that kind of background blur. So I just use the Gaussian blur because it works great. Now we will adjust this until it is as strong as we want it. So you can see, if I go like this, it's way too much. But as I dial this back, like somewhere in here would be acceptable probably. Somewhere in here is like probably too much. It's just not going to look realistic. So really, I'm trying to keep this realistic look here, and I don't want to overdo it because you would never get depth of field like this in your image. It just wouldn't make sense. But somewhere, maybe like this, like around 15, 20, that's believable to me, at least. And so you're probably looking here at the hooves, I guess. It's a hoof on a bison, and it doesn't quite look great, but don't worry, I'm going to show you how to refine this. So I'm pretty happy with that. We'll hit OK, let that load out. Now, before and after. So you can see we just kind of softened the details in the background, which is basically all that we needed to do. But there's one more thing. So it doesn't really look realistic because if we were actually taking a photo, everything that's the same distance away as this bison that's in focus would also be sharp, meaning the ground should be sharp. You can see in the original image, this ground right here is sharp at the bison's feet because that's where the focus point is. So we can emulate that effect here, and this is actually a really cool way to do this, I think. One of my favorite ways. So we'll create a new group. We're going to drag this into the group. Now, basically, this just lets us put another layer mask on top. So anything that's within the group will be affected by this layer mask that I'm going to create. Now we can't put like a double layer mask on one layer, so this is basically just the workaround for it. So now on this layer mask, we're gonna use our gradient tool. So we're gonna grab the gradient. Now you need to go up here. You're probably just gonna have like basics. So just select this option right here, the black and white. Make sure your linear gradient is selected. Make sure you're on gradient, not classic gradient. And make sure these settings match up top here. Then we are going to click and drag just like that. Now, what you'll see on this gradient is anything that's black is being masked out, anything that's white is not being masked out, anything that's gray is in between. Meaning that this foreground now does not have this effect applied, only the background has the effect applied. So that looks pretty good. Now, there's one thing that you do want to consider here though, and that is that maybe you want this foreground, this very, very front of the foreground to be blurred. So we're actually gonna create a 3-color, or it's not really 3-color, but a 3-node, I guess would be the right way to put it, on our gradient. So we're gonna click and create one more color here. So basically, what we're gonna do here is create white to black to white, meaning that the foreground is gonna be masked in, the kind of midground area is gonna be masked out, and the background is gonna be masked in, which allows us to just keep the focus right around this baby bison here. So I said white to black to white, so we can just drag these around. Now just change the colors, so double click here, change this to white, double click here, change this to black. So now we can move this around. Oops, and you wanna grab just like this so you can move it. Now you can see, maybe I need to zoom in here so this is easier for you to see. Look at how under this gradient is out of focus, above the gradient is out of focus, but in between stays in focus. So you can drag this around until you feel like it's at the right spot, but you definitely want the feet of the bison to be in focus for sure. You can also make the gradient longer, like more elongated, or you can make it shorter if you want it less feathered. In this circumstance, you probably want it less feathered. So I just want to make sure his feet are in focus, just like that. Now we'll go in and we'll toggle before, after. So just that subtle change there blurs out that foreground, makes it just have a little bit more depth of field. So that looks pretty nice. Now I'll show you one more advanced concept on this image here, because let's say you have a subject that is moving. So this bison that I was photographing was running as I was shooting it, and I'm panning my camera, which is creating a little bit of motion blur. I'm shooting at probably too slow of a shutter speed, but that is blurring the background a little bit, and the bison is still relatively sharp. Not perfect, but sharp enough. So in this image, what I want to do is actually blur the background, but not just blur it. I want to make it move to kind of add some motion to my scene here. This works great for things like those of you, if you're a car photographer or wildlife or portraits, anything where someone is moving, this helps to create a little bit of movement in your scene. And I'm going to show you how to do it, as well as cover a couple different techniques for a photo like this. So if you already have a flat background layer here, you can just duplicate it, Command J, or you can do the same thing as before, Control Option Shift E to merge all visible. Now we have our background layer. So first thing that I want to do on this image is go up to select and go down to subject. And now I want to show you why what we did the last photo isn't going to work on this image. So we'll create another layer mask. We'll invert this so we're not affecting the subject there. We'll click here. We'll go to filter. And this time we are going to do blur, and we are going to do motion blur. Now the one thing you'll notice is there's like this ghosting from our subject here. This doesn't really look right. So the way to fix that, we're going to hit cancel. The way to fix that is to actually just delete the subject out of this layer. So then there's nothing in the layer, nothing orange from the subject to blur. So you're going to click on that, and you're going to click the delete button. Now you'll see that this layer, if I hold the option button and click, this layer doesn't have any of that bison. Now, if you wanted to do one more thing, you could also extend this mask, because you'll see how we are selecting just a little bit of this bison tail there. So we'll Command Z, undo that, click on our layer mask. We're going to click select and mask. And then basically what we're going to do is just expand this mask. I know this seems like a lot, but just follow along here. So we're going to shift edge, and we are going to go minus. That's going to just increase the edge of the mask. So now when I go through here and click delete, and then I hold Alt and I click on this, now you can see there's less of the orange outside, which is just perfect. Toggle the background layer just so you can see what's going on here. But we'll go to filter, blur, motion blur. Now we can kind of see what's going on. There's still a little ghosting. I'll show you how to fix that. Don't worry. You want the angle here, you want this to be set to whichever way the motion is going. Like this wouldn't make sense up and down because this guy's running. I want to show that he's running forwards. So I want to just keep it at a flat angle, but depending on which way your subject's moving, you can adjust this angle as needed. Now you can adjust this as much or as little as you need. I like to go, it depends on the image, but probably about in there. Kind of shows some motion blur. You can see that down here. So we'll hit OK. Now you're seeing that ghosting. We're going to go ahead and hide this layer. We're going to click on our bottom layer again. We're going to go to select. We're going to go to subject once again. Just going to do another subject selection. And then we're going to click on this layer. Going to create the layer mask. And we are going to invert this, Command-I on Mac, Control-I on PC, so it's not selecting the subject. Now you can see this layer mask. This is before, this is after the layer mask. So we're basically just hiding the blur from our subject before, after, before, and after. So we create a lot of motion blur in that scene. So seriously, no matter what kind of photography you do, outside of maybe landscapes, because I don't do this technique a lot for landscapes, but almost any other kind of photography, you can find use in this, and it pairs perfectly with that brand new subject selection tool. Now the tool is not new, but using cloud processing for that tool is new. Like I said, I covered that in last week's video. I'll link that here again so you guys can check that out. You definitely want to make sure you change that setting before you try doing this on your own. Once you change that setting, give this a try. Let me know what you think, whether you want to create motion blur or just more background bokeh. Let me know. If you guys have any questions, or once you try this technique out, let me know down below in the comments. Love to hear from you guys. I respond to everybody. I do my best. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you want to improve your photography. Otherwise, my name is Austin James Jackson. We'll see you guys next time.